Top day to our viewers in Guam and the Northern Mariana Islands. We are grateful to be joined today by Dr. Alfred B. Ada, the Commissioner of Education of the CNMI Public School System. Happy Teachers Appreciation Week, Dr. Ada.
Oh my gosh, yes! Happy Teacher Appreciation Week. If there's anything that I appreciate right now, and all of our teachers is the gift of life. We are alive today. We woke up with our eyes open. We're able to breathe, speak, eat, and everything. So that is one thing that we should be all grateful every day, and more so for the teachers. Appreciation, shout out goes to them for just staying on with us along the way, despite the hardship that we're going through and that we've been through too as well. So I appreciate every single teacher around the world, not just CNMI, but from Head Start to early Head Start, early childhood, all the way up to our professors in the post-secondary. We appreciate you.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that message. I want to go ahead and jump right in. We were talking about this a few minutes ago, the PSS Grab and Go Meal Program. We know that initially it was cut off, and you were mentioning because of the initial shock. Can you explain that process and how many students and meals are you passing out today?
Okay, great. So we are passing out over 10,000 meals a day. In the beginning, we opened it up when coronavirus came on board, right? So we have to clap back and say, hey, we're going to save our students at the least, provide them the necessary food every day. So it started off really slow with only 800 that week. We were making only 800 school lunches. Um, but as we went on, 2 weeks into it, we experienced our first shock, our first death from the COVID 19. So that kind of like pushed everybody back. I'm talking about the workers. So the workers were like, "Oh my gosh!" Some of them were kind of hesitant to come back to work because they were afraid that they will be get the virus. But then after 2 weeks, we reassessed, and it kind of like the shock kind of mellowed or decreased. Um, and then we reopened again, but this time we're serving more than 800 meals, and we added the private students from the private schools. So it's one meal per child per day. And on the meal, we have our inside the lunchbox, our grab and go. We have breakfast. We have, we provide lunch and snack. That's Monday to Friday, every day. So it's over 10,000 meals every day.
Right, and I know that the PSS learning packets were also put together, and that distance learning is becoming more of the part of the conversation now. What does distance learning look like for students at this moment, as as the calendar semester year ends?
Well, Tom, as you know, coronavirus came overnight, so we had to think quickly overnight. Really, so we we had a three-tier: elementary, middle school, and high school level. So for the elementary, we provided enhancement learning packet. With the enhancement learning packet, it was worth third and fourth quarter work, and it was designed on a weekly plan, all bundled up together for the rest of the year. So that's the elementary level. For middle school and high school, which is the secondary level, we gave out enhancement, but then certain grade levels, like the eighth grade, who are transforming into freshmen, and also the seniors in high school, 12th grade, we gave out the learning packet, but there were some requirements for them to return to the campus for grading, and that will determine their promotion. So we did the best that we can with that, and try to do it as much as possible with the online, everything online. So
Right.
that's that.
And so now shifting a little bit of our conversation to what everyone's been talking about the last few weeks is the public school system's budget, and of course we know that there are constitutionally mandated funds for them. Can you give us an update on the status of the injunction that is being talked about, and what is the current process of making sure that teachers get paid for the payments that were previously missed?
Okay, so to give an update, the 25% of all generating revenue is mandated to given. It will be given to PSS, and they have been giving to PSS, not necessarily on a timely basis, or on the most part, on a timely basis. They pay for our health insurance. They call it the fringe benefits, right? The garnish wage. So we take care of their insurance. However, we're not able to deliver the remaining of their pay simply because the collection was not there. So we do have two payless paydays, and we have to give out to all of that we owe to our teachers and staff. We're working on getting that pay. We will make sure that we give them that pay. Um, with the budget was revised twice this given school year, and for the upcoming school year, we were given a heads up of a 19 million to operate for over 10,000 students, 1,000 over 1,000 teachers and staff altogether. So after today, I will be meeting with our finance people, HRO, and to discuss how can we live and survive with our 19 million budget. So that's where we at with our money right now, basically.
Commissioner, I wanted to follow up because everyone's been listening in on these board of education meetings. We see that the board is, in my view, kind of split in terms of working directly with the governor and them wanting to preserve, the board's mission. Uh, where are you on that in terms of communications with the CNMI's executive branch? What are your views on that?
Well, every day or every other day, I try to communicate with the Secretary of Finance, asking them, is there any money that you can transfer? Any kind of money, any change, whatever money you have. So we're collecting as much as we can for the next payroll, per se. But sometimes other account payables need to be paid, like the vendors that have already given service to the school or to the public school system. We prioritize that as much as possible. These are all locally funded issues. And communicating with the with the executive, with our government, we do have our state board of education who are always working um, constantly and trying to find means. So there is our current latest one right now is to apply for a loan through the Marianas Public Land Trust, and that's in the process right now.
And how big is that loan again? Is it, my understanding is around 6 million, or is that a different number?
It is a different number. It's now at 4 million.
All right.
We are trying to work within whatever we can, within our means. We don't want to balloon it to 16 and then not be able to um,
Right.
pay.
Were you able to speak with the governor since that last board meeting, or so far it's just been with his staff?
It's usually our chair, Board of Education Chairwoman, Ms. Janice Tenorio, who helps me communicate with the staff from the government.
Hmm.
Uh, the governor is very busy right now with COVID-19.
Right.
He's really working hard, making sure that we're safe at the school. I mean, here on the island overall. So, but he is aware of our situation.
All right. And now shifting to talk about the furloughs, how many employees are furloughed under the CMI public school system? And are you at all anticipating a mass exit of teachers in the next few months?
Well, I'm going to do my best to try to talk them into staying back. The situation that came to us really, like I said, it came like a thunder and lightning overnight, right? So right now in PSS, there are over 1,066 faculty and staff. That's teachers and staff. There are 359 federally funded, and there are 707 that are locally funded who are being furloughed. So 707 is the number. I
Right.
don't. Well, I I put out in the notice that I put out in the notice to everybody that the proposed furlough will be for 1 year. I use that as a cushion because I don't want to give false hope, and then I don't want to say that in come June and July we're gonna lift it, and then we weren't able to. Um, but I anticipate to try to make sure that once we are secure with giving out their pay and their future pay, then I will lift the furlough at any given time, so long as we have the money, the funds.
And speaking of the funds, are you able to draw out for our viewers in terms of the federal aid coming in, maybe specifically from the CARES Act? What does that amount look like for the public school system? Have you received any of it, and how much more are you anticipating?
Oh, yes, definitely. Right now, according to our federal program director, Mr. Tim Thornburg, he anticipates that through the formula that he was working with our Office of the U.S. Department of Education in Washington, D.C., we stand to get $12.6 million for under the Stabilization Act fund with CARE Act. So that right now is our so-called future butter to help me pay the 4 million that I owe for our teachers and staff from the payless payday. And so whatever is left from there, we still have to pay the teachers summer pay, and that stands out to be another 4 million. So that's a total of $8 million, right? So
Mhm.
whatever's left, that's what we will try to make use with opening of the school. We're not sure yet. We're not 100% confident that we will open the school in August or September, but plans are underway for that as well.
Right, Commissioner, I wanted to wrap up our conversation today by talking about exactly what you were just alluding to, the plans for the upcoming school year. We know that some plans are being floated around in terms of maybe some possible school mergers, more staff cuts. What right now is the plan for the next school year, and what can a student expect in terms of how many people are going to be in their classroom next year if in-person classes resume, and where exactly they'll be going to school? Are you able to provide some of those details?
Right now, I work with the CCSSO, which is the Chief Council of School State Officers across the nation, and they are in the same boat as we are. So they have closed some of their schools and merged with some other schools as well from the other school district. The way I'm looking at trying not to do as much as possible, not to cut any staff, but offer something else like a part time with a health insurance pay, or we're looking at merging schools right now. It's very disheartening to know that some of our students were looking forward to going to that high school and then being told that they're not going to that high school because that school is shut down. Um, Trying not to break hearts as much as possible, but at the same time, whatever we can do with the 19 million, it's very we would do our best. For ongoing, for the most part, the secondary level, middle school and high school, we are going to try to move to 100% online course, distance ed. We will still provide that face to face for some of our students that need it at that level. but for the most part is to train our teachers to go into distance education and try to go 100% with that.
All right, Commissioner, my last question. This was something I asked the CNMI Board of Education teacher representative, Mr. Paul Mura, last week. What is your message to students at home watching this unfold? What is your message to the thousands of students?
Wow. It's really like, every day I wake up, I ask myself, why am I involved in this? Why are we involved with this? But I've come to accept that this is the way of life, a new way of life. We have to reimagine education now. The way things are, it's like it seems like we are in the midst of transforming into the new decade, new teaching and learning. Um, right now, there with the change, there's a lot of pushback, a lot of resistance, and I totally understand. And to all of you students, um, we will, when we open school, we will make sure that social emotional learning is at the forefront in every curriculum that we give out, so you can understand the change and the things that are going on, because even as us as adults, we're also taken aback on how 45 days can things switch from normalcy to uncertainty. So I totally understand the grief that's happening. It is my prayer every day to make sure um, that we just try to be resilient as much as possible, and to know that this too shall pass. Other than that, stay safe, everybody, for the most part. Please, please, please stay safe. As long as we flatten the curve, we will persevere. But if we don't listen and obey, then we suffer the consequences.
All right, thank you so much, Commissioner Ada. With the CNMI Public School System, we're thankful for your time. We also want to thank the viewers from Guam, the NMI, and abroad for tuning in. My name is Tomas Mangloña, reporting here on Saipan. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.